guys, it's Mark Gillian again for AIM Country Music Television. My guest today hails from Florida, and now she's making waves a little farther north in the country music scene. My guest today is Charly Reynolds. Charly blends a knack for heartfelt storytelling with irresistible melodies and pushes it over the top with a vocal style that drives the point home. Her sound carries the undertones of some of her influences, legends like Shania Twain, Carrie Underwood, and Martina McBride. Charly's music is all Charly, ranging from very classic country to lively anthems to heartfelt songs that are absolutely soaked with emotion. She's shared the stage with the likes of Maddie and Tay, Walker Hayes, and Lainey Wilson. She recently performed at Elevation Beaver Creek alongside Riley Green and Grace Potter. Charly performed at Country Thunder, Florida alongside Cody Johnson, Parker McCollum, and Joey Messina. Her take on the song Neon Moon was even featured in the season 5 finale of Fox's The Resident. This young lady's making an impact. The video for one of the songs from her 2023 debut EP, She Ain't Me, has reached 2.5 million views. That must be a good one, right? Check it out and get back to me. Charly also has almost 40,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. She's stopping by today to talk about her newest release from her Off the Record project, the title track, Off the Record. Let's get her in here right now to talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Charly Reynolds, welcome to Your New Favorite Song.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. We're happy to have you. Let's jump right in here. Your debut LP or EP was released a couple years ago. A couple of songs from that EP have done really well. I looked at one of them, and it was over 2.5 million views on YouTube today.
Yes, thank you.
We're here today to talk about the debut of your first full-length project, Off the Record. But before we dive into that, I'd love for our audience to get a chance to, really know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about the journey into music. How did you get here? What are you up to now? What are you pushing for? Just take your time. Tell us about the journey.
For sure. So I am originally from Orlando, Florida. I've been in Nashville for almost 7 years. This summer will be 7 years. And I've really released a lot of singles over the years until that EP came out. And I love putting out projects. I think it is just so much more fun. So I went ahead and released my album this year. But I played on Broadway, downtown Nashville for a few years. So if you ever were at Miranda Lambert's, you might have seen me playing on stage upstairs. And now I'm kind of doing an acoustic tour around the East Coast in different states and in Texas. Kind of just playing out the album, and I'm now releasing a live version of the album every 2 weeks. One of the songs will be coming out, and so it's kind of fun getting to play those on the road as well. So if you guys want to come out to that, you can check my website, and I'd love to see you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, if you've been there 7 years, you pretty much left school and right to the music business.
I went right out of high school and straight into Nashville. Didn't go to college or anything, just straight into music. So
Well, it appears to be working for you.
yes, I'm glad.
Yeah, what inspired you to get into country music? Early influences, and what
Yes.
has shaped the sound that you have?
I really liked everything growing up. I loved every kind of music, pop, Broadway musicals, country. I liked everything. My family listened to a lot of country, though. I would say two of my biggest inspirations growing up were Carrie Underwood and Taylor Swift when she did country music. I used to love singing Taylor Swift songs in my karaoke machine in the living room. And that's really what shaped a lot of just kind of me wanting to come up here and do this. I didn't know that I could actually move to Nashville and really give it a full shot. Or I thought I had to go to college, but I didn't want to go to college for music. And so my parents were super supportive and said, you know what, you need to just go up there and try and see what happens now. You can always go back to college later. And it's been great. So yeah, but Carrie Underwood was a huge inspiration for me as well, and Shania Twain. They've all really kind of shaped. I have a bunch, but those three I would say are the top three for me.
Well, yeah, if you listen to a lot of your music, you definitely get a wide cross section that has gelled to be Charly Reynolds. That's
Yes,
made your
yes.
sound from. Yeah. We're here today to talk about your new release, Off the Record. This song's part of the larger whole called Off the Record. I'm pretty sure this song isn't a true story. At least I hope it's
No.
not a true story. Tell us about it. How did you come up with this thing?
Yeah, so this is definitely one of the only songs I've ever written that I cannot relate to in any way, shape, or form. We in Nashville, a lot of people were writing these murder country songs, and about a year or so ago, I don't know, and I was like loving them. I thought they were so funny and just fun, and I wanted one. I was like, what the heck? I don't want to be left out. Let's write one for me. And so I had the idea on the record, which I didn't have any idea behind it. It was really just the title of On the Record. And we just kind of messed around with it and thought, what about off the record? And, in the writing room, it's kind of different when you're writing something that no one relates to. You're kind of more of an author than a songwriter because you're writing, this fake story, which was really fun because we were like, how can we make this so crazy and wild as compared to just like regular life stuff. So it was actually very fun to write. And when we wrote it, I was like, this is my new favorite song. I loved it so much. And so then I named the album Off the Record, which I kind of went back and forth with because normally the title of the album will be something that encapsulates the whole album. For me, I just was like, that's a cool name for an album, Off the Record. And if I get it, actual vinyls made, which I did, that's just a really cool title. But it definitely doesn't encapsulate the whole album, that song. But yeah, I decided to call the album that, and then did the music video, which was my favorite music video I've ever done and seen once it was done. It was so much fun to record. And also just so much fun when I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, everything just came together so perfect, and it was such a great day.
Well, that's what I thought when the rep sent it. Is it's just a fun video all the way around.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. We actually shot the whole thing in 3 hours. It was very fast.
Really?
Yes. And yeah, I had my friends there. I went and thrifted some of the clothes down in Texas. Some of them were from Amazon, and just kind of trying to encapsulate that 60s look. And my friends did my hair and makeup. I mean, it was just so, I don't even know. It was just so fun and so crazy at the same time, how it all came together so well in just 3 hours.
It was funny because that was my first exposure to you. So
Yeah.
my initial impression was you were some '60s person. I mean, it really it really came
Yes.
across. So.
Thank you. I appreciate
Well, I'm
that.
excited for people to hear it. How about we play it now?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. You're watching Charlie Reynolds' video for Off the Record here on AIM Country Music Television.
They brought me in, said they need to ask a couple questions. Something about my husband, they're saying he's gone missing. Where were you last weekend? When'd you last see him? And would you have a reason? But little old me, please, a girl like me would never. He was my forever, but off the record between you and me, I've been lying straight through my teeth. He's sleeping in a bed he made, and now that bed's 6 feet deep. You'd understand if you only knew all the hell that he put me through. My guilt is light as a feather, I've never felt better, but that's off the record. They let me go with a sympathetic sorry. Then I came home and all the neighbors are waiting on me with a casserole dish saying he'll be missed. What kind of a person could ever do this? But off the record between you and me, I've been lying straight through my teeth. He's sleeping in a bed he made, and now that bed's 6 feet deep. You'd understand if you only knew all the hell that he put me through. My guilt is light as a feather, I never felt better, but that's off the record. Off the record. I'll still wear this ring. But if the town gets to talking, I trust you won't say a thing. 'Cause off the record between you and me, I've been lying straight through my teeth. He's sleeping in a bed he made, and now that bed's 6 feet deep. You'd understand if you only knew all the hell that he put me through. My guilt is light as a feather, I've never felt better, but that's off the record. Off the record.
I like it. My guilt is light as a feather, and I've never felt better.
Yes.
It's a psycho statement.
Is a psycho statement. Honestly, that whole songwriting process and video was like, how can we make her more psycho as we just keep writing? Because, when you're opening that door, you might as well just, take it as far as you can.
Well, I think that's what's going to make this song successful. I think it tells a story,
Yes,
and I mean, country music is about storytelling.
it
So,
is.
it doesn't have to be true.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be true. It's totally made up, but it's still a story about this crazy woman and her husband. So,
Right, exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Well, we had to pick a song for this interview, so Off the Record was the obvious choice. You got a video, it's great. It's gonna present well, but I also wanted to talk a little bit about the rest of the project. Is there an overarching theme? Because I know Off the Record doesn't really describe this project, but
Yes.
what would you say brought this together as the collection? You say
Yeah.
this is Off the Record.
So honestly, I wish it did have a theme for the entire album because that's way more put together and how they normally go. But for me, I've been wanting to do an album for so long, and a lot of people in music just say, or in the industry say not to as an independent artist because it's just such a big project and you don't have a lot backing you and everything. And so for me, it was kind of like, I want to pick my favorite songs and put them into this collection for me and just put out my favorite songs that I'm proud of. And so that's kind of what I did. I did add a cover song of I Will Survive on there because that is my favorite song to play on stage, my favorite cover song. And I've done it for years. So I was like, I might as well record my own version of this. And it was, yeah, it's really just a collection of my favorites. And I just hope, even though it doesn't tell a story down through the listen, when you listen down, it's kind of just, you know, if people can relate to one or they can relate to all 12, then I'm happy with that.
Well, I think that's a good thing as a newish artist.
Yes,
Have a lot of chances for people to to really zero in on what they like, and
for sure.
you've got several songs on there that I think will make the next good video. So,
Thank you.
are there songs on there that are like particularly personal to you, or are they all more written about
Um,
things that were interesting to you to write about, but not necessarily experiences? And how did you come up with this stuff?
for sure. So there's definitely, I'd say, more songs that are personal to me than not on that album, whether it was my story or, a friend's story that I wrote about. But there are definitely, Visiting Hours, Love You Long. Um, those are two that are very personal to me on the album. Uh, Honestly, it just kind of depends on which song, but there are 12, so I'm trying to think. But Shade of Blue was written about one of my friends. It just depends on where it comes from. Another Man Will is not written about a personal experience, but I definitely can relate to that song because I would feel the same way as that song states. So it kind of depends on the song, but I'd say more so than not, I do relate to them or personal experiences.
Well, there's a lot of depth there, so I think people really should check the whole project out and see
You.
what songs resonate with them.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, people would never forgive me if I don't ask this. So, where can we find you online, on stage, and where can we buy or listen to all of your music?
Yes, so you can follow me everywhere on social media at Charlie Reynolds Music. It's Charly Reynolds Music. You can come see us on acoustic tour or on tour or shows at charlyreynolds.com/tour is where all my dates are. And on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer, all the things, it's just Charlie Reynolds. So I'd appreciate y'all checking them out and come seeing a show.
Yeah, I would encourage that myself.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Charlie. It's been great getting to know
Yeah.
you just a little bit here.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Reynolds. So, what do you guys think? Is Off the Record going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilliam for AIM Country Music Television. Thank you for watching.